because Tsunoda, they don't see him as quite strong enough to be replacing Perez.
Championship is quite interesting after this weekend because McLaren sit at the top on 515, Red Bull on 475, that's a 41-point gap, but nipping at the heels are Ferrari on 441 points, that's a 34-point gap to Red Bull. And Nico, I want to get your thoughts really on the Constructors' Championship, because for Red Bull probably need to be looking at Ferrari, don't they? Red Bull are going to finish third.
Yeah, I mean, so much is going on. Yeah, it's unbelievably exciting. And yes, Red Bull is under threat even to finish third in the Constructors' Championship because they really only have one driver, and even that one driver is kind of struggling at times with the car. And Ferrari do have two drivers, McLaren have two drivers, and that's kind of making it all the more difficult for them.
Matt, I was looking into the financial implications of how, you know, if they finish third compared to first, it's about an $18 million. We think, I mean, we don't know the exact figures, but it's about $18 million. That essentially, could you argue that's the cost then of keeping Sergio Perez on this season?
Well, look, I don't have access to the financial statements within Red Bull, but clearly there are reasons that they've kept Perez. Of course, Mexico coming up is a big old pull for that, and we've heard many rumours about why he may still be in that seat. But look,
Nico, when you look at it and you look at Sergio Perez's performance over the course of the whole year, I guess. But look, I mean, he scored 1 point in the last two races. Yes, he was unlucky, wasn't he, in Baku, obviously, with the crash with Sainz, but it quite clearly is now having a very tangible cost impact, isn't it, or financial impact on Red Bull?
Yeah, sure, of course. I mean, it's a difficult situation for them. The thing is that they don't really have a replacement either, because Tsunoda, they don't see him as quite strong enough to be replacing Perez. Ricciardo is even on his way out, as per the rumors at the moment. So there's not really a replacement. And that's making it even more difficult. And so anyways, yeah, they're giving him a chance now until the end of the year, obviously, and I think they still need to review it again then for next year. And that's another reason why these rumors are coming that they want to try Lawson out. Because Lawson, if he does amazingly well for these last 6 races, then certainly he would be considered for the main Red Bull seat for next year.
Interesting. Okay, so you think if Lawson does come in for Ricciardo, which we'll come on to talk about a bit later, but that's the rumour, you think Lawson is very much a contender then for the Red Bull seat? Yeah. Interesting.
He would, yeah, certainly. There's no reason why not.
Yeah. Matt, who
particularly strong, and I think even Christian Horner said that he kind of mentioned George Russell's name, and everyone was like, oh, George Russell, okay, all right, maybe they're going to consider something completely outside of the pool of drivers that they have. And look, with Perez, they did the same, right? They brought him in. So it looks as if they're just as likely to just look up and down the grid to see who's performing.
Nico, can you see George Russell in a Red Bull in 2026?
George Russell, that was a bit of a knife thrown towards Toto there, I felt, because it puts the pressure on Toto to make a decision because yeah, I mean, George doesn't have a contract, and so if Christian could be really naughty and just try and really snatch him away from there and try and lock him into a contract already now, which I don't know if George would even be interested, but it does add the pressure for Toto, a comment like that.
Yeah, well, certainly Christian and Toto have been trying to steal each other's drivers all season, I guess, haven't they? And who knows what would happen with George. All right, let's talk.